Welcome to the new season, Volume 2 of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I'm Kalia Janae, your dedicated host. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, certified life coach, and motivational speaker. I've got a background in humanities, communication, and I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. This podcast is your go-to source for empowerment and to inspire your journey toward unshakable confidence and fortified self-belief. In this volume, I'm bringing you fresh conversations and uplifting stories from incredible individuals who have overcome many obstacles in their lives and still achieved greatness. Get ready to elevate your mindset, embrace your power, and shine like the star you are. Let's embark on this journey together and straighten up your crown. Let's jump right in. Hello. Welcome to this new episode of Crown Level Confidence, where we are leading women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their level of confidence. Y'all, I'm so excited. You know, we only have phenomenal women on this show, and I have a new phenomenal woman for you. Now, she's not newly phenomenal, but she's a new introduction to me, and I'm so happy to share her with you. This is Ashley Irvin. Say hey, Ashley.
Hi.
We are so excited to have you here and to dive into this conversation that I know is going to be highly transformative as we dive into who you are, what you're doing, what you've got going on. It's some really exciting stuff, y'all. So why wait? Let's just get into it. Let me tell you about Ashley, okay? She is a product of a close-knit military family. She was raised with a profound understanding of the value of discipline and its far-reaching influence on character and work ethic. Yes. Throughout her upbringing, Ashley's parents instilled in her the paramount importance of education and the foundation it lays for future success. Consequently, she pursued and earned her business degree, that's right, originally harboring dreams of becoming an entrepreneur, all right? However, Ashley's life took an unexpected turn when she found herself immersed in the healthcare industry. Ooh. It was during this unanticipated journey that the idea of becoming an author briefly crossed her mind, revealing a path to turn her passion for storytelling into a viable business endeavor with the potential to touch lives worldwide. With an unwavering belief in the preciousness of children, Ashley is wholeheartedly dedicated to awakening young minds, fostering imagination, and nurturing a deep love for reading. Her story serves as a powerful example of merging one's passions, creating a positive impact, and reminding us all of our potential to affect meaningful change. Didn't I tell you she was phenomenal, y'all? Ashley, welcome!
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so we love having candid conversations here. You know, we don't spend a whole lot of time editing our episodes, although shout out to our editor. He is phenomenal. But we like to make sure we're as authentic as possible, right? We're amazing women doing amazing things in an amazing way. And it just also means, you know, we are who we are. So tell us a little bit more about who you are.
Well, so I'm Ashley, and I am a children's book author. Like you mentioned, I grew up in a close-knit military family, and I had strong roots in the church. And so just that my upbringing, I've always just been about, education and just, wanting to seek success, be my own, entrepreneur. And so I'm 32 now. And so I'm just now getting to my dream of writing. I've always loved writing. As a child, I would always write poems and write stories and had a big imagination. But I never really, value that until recently, let me become a writer. Let me share my stories, worldwide. And my goal as a children's book author is to basically awaken the imagination of children now. Now children are into their phones, laptops. They're not reading as much. As a child, I would be outside, playing the trampoline, hide and seek.
Yeah.
Children now are just so consumed with technology that it's causing them to conform to society now, and the imagination is, dwindling. So my hope is to create books to where it makes them, imagine again, be creative, seek, whatever the dream are, go after it. So I hope to inspire children with my books. So that's why I'm here today, just hoping to spread the word.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you're here because we need to reach the parents in order for the children to have access, right? Like the parents need to be bought
Mhm.
in. And it's so great because, well, I don't believe in coincidences, but having encountered you online and having you here on the show, I'm realizing that you and I have so much in common. Like we're very close in age. My father is 20 years Navy retired. So again, close-knit military family, Christian upbringing. Like, yes, my parents instilled in me entrepreneurship from a very young age. I was just recently telling a girlfriend of mine how I've literally been having a business or some kind of stream of income since I was 7 years old. My dad gave me a book on profit and loss at like 9. So I get it, right? I really do resonate with you, and I'm sure many of our listeners do too. And that's the beauty of having, a show like this is we can say, okay,
Mhm.
well, who's the woman behind the author, right? Yes, it's amazing to want to, awaken the minds of these young readers, but I'm sure a lot of parents, myself included, are like, all right, well, but who's doing the awakening and what are you awakening them to, So we want to get
Yes.
behind you so we can get behind these books. So talk to us, and y'all realize this is not scripted, so she doesn't know what I'm about to ask. But talk to us about what it takes to go from point A to point B, right? You have this idea. I want to inspire the imagination of children, right? There are a lot of things that happen between having an idea and actually publishing the book and promoting and talking about it and going about a series and all that stuff. But how do you fill in the gaps? We're here to talk about confidence. There's a lot of women out there who maybe they want to be an author, maybe not children's books, or maybe they want to be an illustrator. They want to do something. They have
Right.
the thought, right? They may even have the self belief, but like, how did you get yourself from point A to point B?
It takes discipline. Being an author, like if for those who are called to write, we procrastinate.
Oh,
That's the truth. So you can ask any author, like when we have an idea, it's like our mind is just on 100 miles per hour. And so you need to just set a time to just, okay, I have this idea. Let me just, spend this hour, spend this 30 minutes, doing an outline, doing, writing the first, chapter or whatever your idea is. So with me, with my ideas, I literally have like 10 other book ideas written down. So it's like so for instance, my ideas, I have, because for instance, one of my ideas is about budgeting. So
mhm.
teaching children how to budget, how to save. And so I have that written down. And okay, well, how can I make that fun? How can I make that educational to where children will want to budget? They want to save. They want to pick up this book about saving, just having the discipline to make that layout. Another book of mine, going back to these ideas, is I have a book about a detective book that's coming out soon. And so with this book, I have it more interactive. So with the mind of children nowadays with their phones and laptops, okay, even though I do want to pull them out of technology a little bit, it's impossible. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be impossible to completely pull them out of that. So what I do is I kind of incorporate technology with my book. So with this idea I had was, okay, in my book, there's going to be a code. And then so as they're reading the book, the code will be hidden somewhere in the pages. And once they find that code, they'll input that code in my website and it will unlock different interactive activities based on my book.
Wow.
So,
That sounds next level.
mhm. And I'm hoping that will kind of incorporate, the fun of reading again, but also using a little bit of technology because I can't really, take away completely, but yeah, just for those who do, inspire to be an author or an illustrator, it takes discipline. You have to stay stuff apart from others because there
Mhm.
are, hundreds of authors, hundreds of illustrators out there, but you have to just kind of be disciplined and just have the mindset of, okay, what can I do to, influence my audience?
Yeah,
So,
that's amazing. Discipline, y'all. And ooh, she said my favorite M word, mindset. Yes, it's important. You've got to be the most bought in and committed to your goal than anyone else, right? Like I always say,
Mhm.
I can't want more for you than you want for you.
Right.
And so I'm very glad that you highlighted, discipline and mindset, because it's true. Once you're fully committed and you're fully bought in, there's really no one able to stop you. We only stop when we take ourselves out of motion, in whatever the goal is. So thank you for sharing that. Um, Now you consider yourself a new author?
Yes.
Okay. So far, what has been the most rewarding experience on this journey?
So I have a couple of my author friends, read through one of my newer books, and just hearing how, because one of them, she has 6 children,
Wow.
and hearing that my book was so engaging. They were so engaged, they were so excited about the book, the illustrations, and just hearing that, is to speak, okay, well, this is what I'm called to do. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah,
So just
confirmation.
being able to inspire young children, because they're our future. So we need to make sure that our children, have a good mind. Keep them innocent, and then train them up well, because I mean, they're they're leading, the next generation. So just knowing that my book inspired them, it's so rewarding. And how much more children out there that have not yet read my book, what more can I do with them, so.
Yeah. And that is really awesome, because it's not often, it's very rare actually, that we get to see an impact, let alone so quickly, or hear some positive feedback about something we've done. Usually
Mhm.
it's like do good in the world and you cause a ripple that impacts other good and other good. It's this domino effect, and you never really know how it ends, or what actually happened. But when you
Right.
get those moments where we can actually absorb, and it feels good, we get some satisfaction, right, out of
Mhm.
knowing concretely, like, oh, here's a specific example of something I did that impacted someone, in a positive way. So I'm happy for you that you're able to have that moment. Sorry, excuse me. Woo. So let me ask you this now. Speaking of children's books, which is what you're specializing in, how can children's books, or maybe literature in general, but we're talking about children's books here, how can they play a role in women empowerment, right? Because they're just kids, right? But the show is about women's empowerment. So how do we bridge that gap?
Yes. So, with children's book in general, I'll just speak in general. So a lot of our books today, they show Caucasian children.
Mm.
And so a lot of our Black children don't see themselves portrayed in these books. So when it comes to empowering Black children, well, having them read books that, portray themselves. So Black characters. So then they could see, oh, I could do that. I could be that. I could go to this place. So same thing with women. So when we see children's book that display, young girls, or even, young women, then it'll show young girls, hey, when I grow up, I could do this. I could be a nurse. I could, be a pilot. I could do this. I could, write a book. So displaying children's books with women of color, it could empower young girls when they grow up to say, hey, because of this book, or because of, as a child, I dreamt of this. I wanted to be this because of this book. Well, that empowered me to become who I am today.
That's so awesome. And you're right, you hit the nail on the head. Representation matters, right? Like,
Hmm.
you can, what do they say? If you can see there, you can be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I remember, gosh, I was almost a whole adult before I ever heard of the career of an engineer. Not married to one, but there were other kids in class. They weren't Black, but there were other kids, and mind you, so a little bit about me is I was always in the accelerated classes. Growing up, honors, accelerated, IB, AP, whatever the initials were. Like, I was there. My parents had me in that, so I was around I had peers, that were exposed to maybe some things I wasn't exposed to, obviously, but I'm saying all this to say it wasn't until literally I'm 17 getting ready to graduate high school, and I'm listening to people that were going to specific schools because they wanted to be engineers. And that's not even a career I had heard of up until that point. So if I, in all the best, right, quote unquote, classes, still hadn't even heard of that, I can only imagine how many other students whose parents weren't able to give them the best of the best, what have they heard of? What are they exposed to? Let alone someone who looks like them doing that. So that makes me, especially as a parent, grateful, to hear that you are on a mission to expose, our children and our girls, to new things at an early age, so that way they can work toward, those aspirations. And sure, they may change. We all used to want to be something else other than what ended up being, at some point. But the simple fact that there's more available to you than just what you see, every day. So I think that's great. Now, something interesting about your books, I'm noticing here, you've got strong female lead characters in your book. Is that true?
Not with the one I have out now.
Okay.
But I do plan on, 'cause again, I have like other ideas. I do plan on having women or young girls in my upcoming books. Yes.
Yeah. And so that sounds really intentional. Can you explain a little bit more? I mean, clearly we know why, maybe on the surface level, but why is that something in particular that you are angling for, that you're going to be doing moving forward?
Well, because I want to target different children, if that makes sense. So right now, I have my book that's out. It's mainly the main character are young boys or men. I have a father and a son in my my book, but I don't want young girls to think that I'm only targeting young boys, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I want to broaden my I don't know how to call it, maybe I guess the representation, I guess you could say, in my different books. So having a book geared more towards boys, having a book geared more towards girls, so that each child could actually can feel what I'm displaying in each of these books. So that's why I want to kind of broaden my genre.
Yeah. And that makes so much sense. And I can tell you right now, as a parent and hopefully future reader of your books here, that we're so appreciative, that you have the forethought to want to do that, because there's just a lot of junk content out there, Ashley, as you know. It's a mess. It's such a mess. So to break through that noise and offer an alternative is very important. It's necessary. I live in a state where the reading levels I'm hearing, my children are small, right? I've got an unborn baby at this point and a 1-year-old. So I'm looking ahead, right? I'm looking at the schools and they're not doing that well. Reading comprehension is low and literacy is low. So whatever can be done to have children's minds expanded in such an engaging and inclusive way, I'm all for it. I'm like, yes, let's do it.
That's also too, like with all of my books, I want to either teach a lesson or teach a skill.
Ooh.
So like I mentioned before, I have a book about budgeting.
Yeah.
Teaching how to budget, because that's not taught in school.
Right.
When they're, adolescents getting their first job, they don't know how to save. They don't know how to, manage their money. So teaching at a young age, can help them be more financially stable in their adult life. I have some ideas about gardening and beekeeping.
Ooh, yeah.
Learn to garden again. A lost skill that people don't use anymore. So all my books, either a life lesson or a skill.
That is amazing. And is this even a phrase anymore? I remember like in the 90s, it was always the moral of the story is.
Yes.
I haven't heard that in a while. You just reminded me of that right now and how important it is. And, children, they do learn. We all learn through stories, parables, fables, and different things. But I like your approach, a skill or, a moral. And I think that is amazing. A lesson, I think you said. That's paramount. We need those. And like I said, to fill our minds too, because a lot of times I'm learning as a parent, like I said, a new parent, that these children's books and all of these different things we get for our kids, they're really fortifying us as well. Like I have all these like posters, around my house that are like preschool posters, and then, but I'm reading them too. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a preposition. Oh yeah, that's an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading them to my daughter, but it's still fortifying me too. It's still reminding me too. And I think that, you're on a mission very clearly to impact children, but there's going to be so many other parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, caregivers who are going to be touched by your stories and your messages as well, because they're going to, be involved in that storytelling. So I think it's going to have a much bigger impact than you anticipate. And I'm really excited to see how this all unfolds for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So believe it or not, y'all, we have reached the point of the episode where it's time for the final word. It always comes by way too fast. We end up in these conversations, we get going, but it has to wrap up at some point. So Ashley, we're here at the final word. This is the time where the ladies, their lunch breaks are wrapping up, or they have to go to their next meeting, or they arrived at their destination, they're getting ready to get out the car, and they want to know from your God-given wisdom to their ears, what's the main message that you want to leave them with today?
My main message is to let's awaken the imagination of young children.
Ooh.
Let's set the goal to put the phones down, put the screen down. Let's, get our children back to their creativity, because again, they're our future. So we train up a child. So we have to train our children because they're going to lead the next generation. So let's awaken their imagination, and let's, get them back to reading these books.
Yes. Well, y'all heard it here first. Okay. Ashley Irvin, up and coming children's book author, game changer. She's going to inspire and touch the lives of a whole generation, y'all. And we'll have this interview to say, oh yeah, she was on Crown Level Confidence. I remember her. So listen, you want to support Ashley, you need to do the following. Okay. Go to her website at authorashleyirvin.com. And you can also keep in touch with her on Facebook and Instagram. Don't worry, I know y'all are on the go. I have the links in the description of the episode for you to click very easily. Also, leave her an encouraging word. We've got the Crown Level Confidence Between the Episodes Facebook group. I'm sure she would love to hear your positive feedback, or, just maybe some different things you want to see in a book one day. I'm not sure, but if you want to keep in touch with her and thank her for her time and her participation, we highly encourage interaction. We're building a community here. But listen, don't spam my friend Ashley, okay? Just keep it nice and simple and sweet. Order books, give them as gifts, supports. But, we're always respectful and collaborative. No competition here. So, y'all, stay tuned after the episode for some special announcements. But listen, Ashley, it has been a pleasure having you here with us. I'm so grateful to get to know you, to continue to have you in the Crown Level Confidence family. And y'all, listen, I love y'all, and I'm so grateful that y'all love me. Everybody, be blessed. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will help you on your path to unstoppable confidence. Remember, you have the power within you to achieve greatness and transform your life. Stay connected by subscribing to the podcast and following us on social media. If you're interested in being a featured guest on the show and sharing your journey of confidence and self-belief, visit KaliaJania.com to connect with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories, and I'm always excited to meet and showcase remarkable individuals, so don't hesitate to reach out. For details on speaking engagements, mindset coaching, or having a workshop in your office, again, head over to my website, KaliaJania.com. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire others to wear their crowns proudly. All right, y'all, keep shining, keep believing, and keep leveling up. Until next time, wear your crown with pride and confidence. Take care.